Turkey has entered a new era of tight social media restrictions today. President Erdogan's Draconian law is going to censor free speech online in Turkey. The newly enforced law threatens to crack down on platforms like Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. If contentious posts aren't taken down, the legislation was rammed through the parliament by Erdogan's ruling AKP party. Under the new rule, platforms with more than 1 million daily users must open offices inside Turkey that can deal with local court decisions to remove offensive content within 48 hours. If not, they face advertising bans, fines of up to $5.1 million and bandwidth restrictions of up to 90%, making the platforms effectively unusable. The law also allows Turkish courts to order Turkish news websites to remove content within 24 hours and also allow the government to comb through old stories to erase anything unfavorable. While passing the bill, the legislator of Erdogan's party said that the new law seeks to put an end to insults, swearing and harassment made through social media. This, however, is not how human rights groups and opposition politicians see it. Facebook's human rights officer Ian Levine tweeted that it raises many concerns about human rights in Turkey. Fearful free speech advocates in Turkey say that it is not certain whether Erdogan's government will be able to implement this new law. We also can't say at this point if social media companies will ever fully comply with this rule. Turkey's Director of Human Rights Watch also showed worry over the controversial legislation. She also said that in a country like Turkey, it's impossible to suppress social media so easily. Erdogan has steadily consolidated control over traditional media during his 17 years in office. The latest move is being condemned as a fresh crackdown on anti-government critics in Turkey. For more on this, we are being joined by Arzu Geybula, a political analyst and a journalist who is joining us live from Istanbul. Arzu, thank you so much for giving us your time and joining us on WION. But, you know, Erdogan has always criticized social media, isn't it? He's always been suspicious of social media. In 2013, he termed Twitter a menace. In 2014, he vowed to wipe out all these social media platforms, and he briefly even unplugged Twitter and YouTube ahead of the local elections that year. So how are the people of Turkey taking this new law? Are they really surprised by this?
Well, before the law actually came into effect, there was a lot of criticism during the draft discussions. There was a lot of advocacy around it. And of course, people were worried about the consequences of the law and its impact because censorship already is very much prevalent in the country. And so ahead of the adoption of the law, there was some kind of hope that perhaps it will be possible to prevent it from taking place. But unfortunately it did. And today we enter the day when the law is in effect, and everyone is kind of suspicious, but also, you know, a lot of things are changing, but it's mostly changing for the platforms, of course. And as for the users, you know, Turkish citizens are used to living in a country where there's censorship, and we're yet to see the implications of the law taking place in real time.
Yeah, but there are degrees of censorship, isn't it? This new law enables the Turkish government to literally monitor anything that is being posted online and literally take down anything that is deemed offensive or that is posted targeting Erdogan. You know, everyone from high school students to cartoonists to former Miss Turkey have landed in court for criticizing Erdogan online. So is this law only to protect Erdogan and his own loyal supporters?
Well, a short answer to that question is probably yes, especially considering all the examples that you've just listed yourself. And there's really not much to add to that because clearly there's an intention, and we'll only know whether it's otherwise once we see examples that are different to this. But as of now, this seems to be the most logical answer.
One final question to you. So, is this the end of free speech online in Turkey?
Well, I don't really want to be so grim about it. I hope this is not the case. But I do think that this is a very serious violation of users' rights here in Turkey. There's enough independent voices who are willing to go an extra step, to go an extra measure and continue.
Yeah, but those voices will lose a platform, isn't it? Social media is used by majority of people today. It has a tremendous reach, even more than traditional media, but now it will be regulated.
You're right, but there will be other ways. I mean, I'll just give you from Belarus, where social media was shut down. Basically, internet was shut down, and Telegram all of a sudden became popular, and this is how people began sharing. And I think there will always be a solution, perhaps not the best solution, but likely solution.
One final question. Some may even view it as a draconian or even an authoritarian law, but the ball is now in the court of these social media giants, isn't it? Has there been any response from Facebook or Twitter so far?
That's a good question. At the very beginning, when the draft law was in the discussion, a lot of these companies, in fact, most of these companies were encouraged by the Turkish civil society and the experts not to comply. And we're yet to see, because we haven't really seen any news from Facebook or Twitter in particular about their next steps with regard to the new law.
Arzu, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast and getting us all the details about this law that is generating a lot of interest across the world. Is it the end of free speech in Turkey? That's the big question.